unmute me. And hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Rotten Movie Reviews. Today we are reviewing the movie Firebirds, and thought I had that muted. Luckily, the desktop audio is still muted. Always something with me. Huzzah, professionalism. But onto my panel with me, as always, is Tier. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
Definitely better than I was earlier since it was raining. And yeah, I explained that story to Angela. And with us also is Angela. How you doing today, Angela?
I am very glad that this movie was good. I needed that.
And then causing the fourth corner of our four-cornered something or other. I'm running out of shapes to go with, and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to throw something random. We have James Colley. James, how you doing today, bud?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Yep.
You remind me of one of my old NCOs. You'd be like, hey, Sergeant V, how you doing? Dying. Besides that. All right, we'll switch over to the review thing. Son of a gun. I didn't do the slideshow like I was supposed to, so I screwed up partially. So,
no one cares.
So I'm still talking. This movie came out in 1999, starring, obviously, Nicolas Cage, since that has been the theme. Also starring Tommy Lee Jones. Pretty young Tommy Lee Jones at that.
Oh, yeah.
But it had a pretty big cast and that whole thing. But I would have to say very, very actually enjoyable. Like, I don't know everyone else on there. I know I've seen Sean Young, his love interest throughout the film. I've seen a few of the people in there in a couple other movies and whatnot. But just, honestly, I'd say pretty solid movie. It'd basically be like the Top Gun of helicopter movies with an actual fight. Because I haven't watched Top Gun in forever. But it had a good build-up. Instead of doing the typical montage scene of montage training to this, you had the montage training to have the falling or failure to have the build-up to actually doing it proper. So, opinions of the movie. I generally enjoyed it. Y'all?
I liked it. A lot better than the last two films we watched.
Oh.
Sorry. Granted, it wasn't a high bar to achieve, but I did.
Hey, Tremors 2 was awesome. You don't talk shit about Tremors 2.
Oh, I was talking about the other two films.
You're talking about the last two Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage movies.
I know, but I gotta be a smartass. I mean, when else am I gonna give Tier shit except for in our channel or our one thing in Discord on his own stream? Generally every other day.
I was gonna say every day that starts with a Y ends with a Y.
Well, he can give me shit on Yom Kippur. That's not a bad thing.
Well, as long as I'm giving you shit today, we can always just say it happened yesterday.
Exactly.
James, your opinion of the movie?
Well, yeah, overall it was a good movie, but there were some parts that I had a problem with.
What, it didn't have a beach volleyball scene?
It didn't have tits. James?
Hello?
Did he mute himself?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
What I didn't like about it was when he got to the simulator, he made a statement that just really pissed me off.
He is the greatest?
Exactly, that one pissed me off.
Yeah,
you want to know why?
Because you're the greatest?
Damn right.
Okay.
I mean,
oh
you're pretty good, but you're no Evil Knievel there, bud.
I mean, you're pretty good, but you're no Justin Dorsey, bud.
I'd have to say you're no the Fonz, bud.
Have you jumped the shark, James?
while wearing a leather jacket. James is like, God damn it! You're supposed to give Tears shit, not me shit.
This is a rare deal between me and
He
Rob.
was setting himself up to receive shit.
Probably.
I did. And I'm okay with it.
Oh, we're all expecting it.
Check.
I mean, that's why, like I said, I'm better now because, as I told Angela, and that I'm pretty sure I've already said, I own a moped. And I brought it to my apartment today, and it was slightly rainy and kind of cold because it was in like the low 60s. So traveling at like 30 miles an hour when slightly wet is not fun.
That's what she said.
Well, you see, you're looking for warm and wet in that situation, not cold and wet.
I mean, dead bodies are viable. Excuse me, I didn't say that out loud. My bad. Not just,
That was really gross, man.
I'm undead. What does it matter?
Okay. I guess it works for you.
Yeah, I will have to say, this was just a good 90s fun movie. Like, although I will say the part that just kind of threw me off was I don't remember how big that lingo was in the 90s, even in the 80s, but having him get out of the Apache in the beginning, or after flying with Tommy Lee Jones, be like, so how was it? Super cool, sir! I was like, I don't even... I was waiting for a cowabunga at some point.
Yeah.
I was legitimately kind of waiting for some like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles references almost. Because that would have been around that time. At least the cartoon was big. Because that came out...
When did this come out?
Well, the original Turtles cartoon came out in like around the time... around, I want to say the same year we were born. It came out in like the late 80s. I want to say around 86.
It was close to like 88 and 90, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the first movie was 1990. Fucking scroll, goddammit. I get pissed off at a lot of things because it's like I keep hoping my internet won't go out on me because I don't know why it has twice on me.
Well, maybe you can set that again on you.
The TV series went from 1987 to 1996.
Okay. That's a long time.
Well, it was one of those, they didn't have the biggest seasons. Plus, you got to remember at that time, almost everything was not serialized. So, everything was episodic. But, yeah, back to the movie on that one. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for a radical or really a totally tubular.
No.
I'd expected it awesome. You know.
I would have expected an awesome. That I would have expected. Babe?
I think mainly it's overall a better movie than Top Gun.
Well, I haven't seen Top Gun forever just because I'm not the biggest fan of fighter jets. Like, the only fighter jet I still really have a love for is the A-10. And part of that is because GM built a gun. Because GM built the 30mm Gatling gun that it uses.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that great? The same one it's everyone knows for making like dishwashers, washers, and dryers, built a 30mm Gatling gun that the military looked at and went, man, this thing's really cool. And the Air Force went, we need to build a plane around this. We need to make a flying tank.
You need to break reality.
And I always love to piss a lot. Or I shouldn't say a lot. Since I worked heavies for when I was in the Air Force I say mechanic, but I was EW, so we didn't have to work as hard as everyone else most of the time. But I always like to give fighter guys shit in that whole thing because they're like, yeah, man, that's the sound of freedom right there. I'm like, that's the sound of a Zamboni. What's that supposed to mean? I had that a couple times. I had one that was one of the higher ups. He just kind of looked at me like, what do you mean? I was like, well, most fighters, they go in, they blow shit up to make sure that the actual players can come in and do the job.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm not wrong.
No,
in
you're
90%
not.
of the cases, a fighter jets come in to blow up some main things so that way they can get troops on ground and have everything else come in. So how are you not really a Zamboni?
I know.
Doesn't mean fighters aren't cool to most people. They're loud as shit and annoying to me. But that's just me throwing shade at my frickin' fellow people I used to work with. But I also got my start on the AC-130s. So air support that's highly sought after is always dope. Plus the 105 cannon, so that's firing a bullet that's 105 millimeters in diameter, is so powerful that quite literally in the air it moves the plane to its right about 3 feet.
Really?
Oh, dude, if you want to see some cool shit, look up the what's known as I think it's the AC-130 Death Tornado, if memory is serving me correctly. So it's like every 8th round or something, they're firing a tracer round. And you just see a literal cone being formed from the tracer rounds.
I learned something new.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking aircraft that actually have guns on them are pretty fucking cool. And then I went from the AC-130s to the I worked on the Whiskies before they got a gun on them. Then I worked on them when they got guns and some missiles on them. Then I went to work a office job to eventually working on the J models. And some people were like, well, other than the fact that I can't say that I was there when it was dropped, but I can claim that I have worked on the plane that dropped the Moab.
Wow.
That's I can't claim that I worked on it during the first Transformers movie, but I have worked on the plane that they said, Bring the Rain and the C-130 that shot the Scorpion Decepticon in the desert. I've worked on that plane as well. It is now a display and has been for the past probably 7 years at Cannon Air Force Base.
Wow.
Yeah, quite literally, it's the only one that has a Decepticon logo as a kill for it.
That is kind of cool.
But I don't go and take credit for it. I can only say it's I've worked on it.
You didn't invent it.
Yeah. Oh, hell no, I didn't invent it. And I wasn't there for it. I had a buddy that was, though. So I think he might have got to write something on the bomb. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure they let everyone that was around have been like, go ahead and write, fuck you, Hitler, if you wanted to, or something.
Look at me now.
Watch me whip, now watch me nay-nay.
Oh, no.
But it was always funny because, working for AFSOC and that whole thing, because it's very similar to what they were doing since they were special operations, not necessarily special forces. Special forces is usually ground forces. But I always had some of the people that we did have some of the airmen that were like, well, we work J models and everyone else says they're trash haulers. And it's like, well, in a lot of cases they are. There's also the people that will show the inside of some of the C-130s when they're need a nut full of special operations or infantrymen. Like, we're talking about they're jam-packed so full of people and how close together they are that if they cough, or if you cough, you're kneeing two other people in the nuts and getting kneed in the nuts.
Damn.
But with the J models, the biggest thing I told them is like, dude, with some of the shit they do, they take bad motherfuckers to do bad things to bad people.
Good.
Yep.
But like, helicopters are cool, but they're pretty much the army.
I like all firecrafts, honestly. Like, what is it called? The jet that they use in this movie was kind of cool. The fighter jet.
Yeah. I think that was actually supposed to be more of a stealth jet, but the way it looked.
Really?
But I could be wrong. I don't know fire jets and stealth jet or stealth. Well, typically stealth, other than I think that other than some of the new ones.
James.
James is just like, I'm bored to tears.
I'm bored.
I'm listening, I promise.
I know it's occasionally you have the nose thing or your oxygen or whatnot, so it's rather funny. We'll start going into something, he's like, and you just hear the nose growl or whatnot, almost like a snore, and I can't help but laugh.
Oh, no,
we're not laughing at you in this one, actually.
Yet.
Oh, I know. It comes from a place of lust.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want to say like the
What?
most sought after air support though for most of the military is like an Apache helicopter. A couple of the other ones they add some stuff to, and typically like an AC-130.
Do you remember? Well, I don't think they were trying to change the name of it. I could be wrong, but people were making a big stink about using Indian names and whatnot for our military weapons and shit. Fuck, I can't remember. Was it the Apache or the Black Hawk that had people up in fucking arms?
Probably both, because both of them are Native American names, and it's a complete, in my opinion, for that one, should be a fuck off thing. That's like the ones that got pissed off about having like the pinup gals at the side of a plane. Oh, eat a dick. If it's a female pilot or air crew and whatnot, I wouldn't care if they wanted to put pinup dudes on there. Fucking have at it.
I agree. It is outrage for the sake of outrage.
It really is.
Oh no, you have a female pictured on your plane, or your plane is named after a marginalized group. Oh, go fuck yourselves.
I will say this though, for the freaking helicopter thing, the whole thing of having the one eye be the look and then the other eye is supposed to use a camera, that would fuck me up.
That would fuck me up.
I'm right eye dominant and don't have to wear glasses or anything. That seems like something you'd have to be fucking cross-eyed for.
That would fuck me up too. That my vision isn't.
I will still say the funny part is the fact that they somehow had him see, but if you paid attention to it, when they put the panties over his head for some odd reason and put the little periscope thing on his right eye to force him to do that, the panties went directly over his right eye if you paid attention. Like, I don't think I got one of the pictures of that. I thought I did. Yeah, I thought I had opened one up, but it had a bad address or something. Yeah, for anyone who may see this in the future, because the Nicolas Cage's character is right hand dominant but right eye dominant, which I've met several people that way. It always throws them off. Some of them have to become good old ambidextrous to shoot guns. And then some of them can still shoot right eye with a left eye dominant. For rifle.
Yeah.
Well, for a rifle, because that's a little different. You have more points of contact and everything. But the whole fact of it's just overall, I'm having to give this movie such a good, glowing review, in my opinion, because of just all the stuff they went through with it.
I do like the fact that everybody got a kill in it. Like, everybody got at least one confirmed kill in this.
Well, sort of. I mean, oh yeah, because the chick got it as well. Well, the three main characters they brought up did, because I don't think Nicolas Cage's guy got a kill. His gunner.
His gunner didn't get a kill, but Nick got it.
Yeah.
His gunner was called Breaker, I believe, and his the actor is actually the brother of another actor who was actually in G.I. Jane.
Huh.
Oh my.
Neat.
But yeah, the girlfriend got a kill. Technically, the bad guy got a kill.
Bad guy got several kills.
Well, on-screen kill.
Yeah. Because technically, he had the in the beginning the kill for
my love. You need to mute.
He got the kill for his partner or his friend, and then he got the kill for the gunner for pilot for Nicolas Cage. Not Nicolas Cage. Tommy Jones.
Well, sort of. That was a death of the crash and everything, but he did get one of the helicopters upon initial takeoff for the final scene.
Okay.
Because this is one of the few movies where it's like they kind of have a fight that you don't see firsthand. It's all based off memory, and then, you know, the whole thing of the build up to the actual fight.
I wonder if they used did they use models for some of the shots or actual ships for that dogfight? Because at some points it really looked like they were in. You could see some of the model work.
It's highly plausible they could have been using models.
Yeah, like that looks too much like a little miniature in some shots, and then some shots it looks like they actually use helicopters, because the military does do that thing.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I met a couple of different pilots that they've actually got to be in. I'm kind of using quotations in there. The Hollywood movies, because the Hollywood contract the U.S. government to use like the CD-22s and whatnot. So it's really funny. Apparently, one of the CD-22 pilots I met, pretty cool dude, was talking about how, like, I think it was either him or his friend was actually in one of the Transformers where they did the jumping out to have their like wingsuits and shit. And he just like looked back to his phone and took a picture, and the guy in there that like worked for things like, you need to delete that. He's like, it's my plane. I'm gonna keep the photo, or you can get the fuck out. Like 600 feet in the air. I'm just like, yeah, I respect that. And apparently, Sean Young, Billy's character, the goof they actually put in there was they put her, or it's like when she first starts off, she was the left seat, which many of the mission related controls are actually only available in the right seat. So that's why you didn't see the right seat, considering the fact like they had the pilot in there.
James.
I think we're boring, James.
No, we're not boring, James. I can't turn my oxygen up anymore, and we had rain come through earlier, and it's affecting, the moisture is affecting me. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how to mute myself, and I hit it, and it doesn't want to do it, so.
Your mute doesn't want to work?
No, none of my buttons want to work.
Oh no.
Weird.
Try leaving the app and then going back into the app because that's what fixed it for me. It could be the app itself.
Alrighty. See you in a little bit.
Alrighty. I will say, if memory serves me correctly, the knife on their vest should be a K-bar. A little survival knife.
Hello?
And we're with you again.
You're back.
Okay, that's good.
See, it's the new equivalent of turning it on and turning it off.
Yep. We can say this, because the way it was and everything, it did not give us
emotional damage.
And there were no titties.
I think that's where Tyr gets his emotional damage. Of course.
Instead, we had Nicolas Cage's character near the end of the film looking at the bad guy going,
I will send you to Jesus.
That was great.
That was funny.
Pretty sure the guy at the bottom was just like, oh, come on. Fucking windy. I had to go through and change some of these MP4s that I have of those into MP3s, and I put them in the Discord soundboard. But yeah, overall, just good film, would recommend. This is going to be a shorter one because there's really nothing to take out on it.
10 out of 10, totally would recommend.
How about 10 out of 10, but definitely just a good early 90s, actually beginning of the 90s, fun film.
I was going to say 10 out of 10 is a little much, but...
Alright, okay, fine. I'll go back. I'll say about, what, 8 out of 10? Totally recommend.
I'll go with that.
It'd be better if it had titties.
I am totally fine without it.
It's okay. Like, I just believe titties make everything better.
You and a lot of other men.
James agreed, don't you, James?
Well, yeah, James is a man.
Yes, I agree. It's that my penis approves these statements.
Oh my god.
Oh, apparently there was definitely some factual errors in this thing. One for continuity is during the final battle with Stoller. That's the guy. It shows that Jake and his Apache are directly behind Stoller's Scorpion. However, the impacts from the Hydra rockets are squarely on the side of the Scorpion if they were perpendicular to the Apache. Or if it were perpendicular to the Apache. I agree with the one thing. The sequence in which Billy shoots the jet fighter, hunting her, and Little using a stinger makes no sense. Jet fighters would not waste effort to go at a crew already in a downed helicopter. Their job is to eliminate aerial threats in which the crashed Apache is no longer fits for, or suited. Not to mention they're very poor for that one. It's like, yeah, they're gonna be flying too fast for that. But still, it's a fucking movies from the 90s, so suspension of disbelief.
But those continuity errors can be easily rectified. In the time it took them to fire the rockets,
yeah,
he could have turned in anticipation to counter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Apache, the fighter going after the crew, they weren't Americans, and American doctrine is kind of different to everyone else's. So it could be an issue of,
usually for a fighter jet, they're not going to go after a down thing like that because they're not going to necessarily see them as a threat unless they can verify it. But it being the cartel, you never know.
I mean, again, they weren't military trained. They could be like, look, eliminate everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily see them as errors. But again, this was a good movie, and honestly, I do like it.
Well, I also say this, like I said, it's one of those things that it goes to the suspension of disbelief of it was the early 90s, and even in the 70s and 80s, they did all sorts of shit that just doesn't make sense when you look at it from an objective lens.
Yeah. Again, it's a movie. And dear God, thank you for not being Wild Things 2 and fucking Time to Kill 2.
It was fun. It was not better than Top Gun. I'm sorry.
Wild Things 2 Electric Boogaloo.
But it was a good movie. I had fun.
Look, I'm willing to call this one, for the most part, basically Top Gun with helicopters. The only, like, basically Top Gun via some other vehicle that I will never watch again, if I can stop it from happening, is Days of Thunder. Because it basically has the exact same cast, from what I can remember, the exact same cast as Top Gun, but it's via NASCAR. And my dad, and I know he doesn't like to think he did, but he was like, and I understand. I was, I'm his son. As a kid, I watched the same movie over and over and over again, and I'm pretty sure it drove him nuts. He watched the ever-living shit out of Days of Thunder, and I still don't know why. He was also the same person who watched the ever-living shit out of pretty much any time a Elvis Presley movie came on, or starring Elvis Presley, or predominantly he liked the second Grease movie over the first. Mainly because he just wanted to hear the song Cool Rider.
Okay.
I mean, I think both movies are stupid.
I mean, personally, yeah.
Which movies? The
Grease.
Grease movies?
Yeah.
I
know
like
some people love them. They're not my thing. And I don't hate musicals. I just don't like those ones. I know they are more accurate to type of shit they did back in when the time frame of when those movies came out. Considering the fact my grandfather kind of has confirmed that shit of like the weird shit they would do.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I like the thing with what was it, Birdie or whatnot, when they started playing the music and everyone just started dancing. Like kids would do that shit. It's a different time, man. It's not like today where we have all the electronic shit.
That's another movie I would like to forget.
What, Birdie?
Yes.
It was not as bad as some of the more recent shit. Though it was not a good movie.
It wasn't as bad as Time to Kill.
Yeah.
It wasn't fucking good either.
Yeah, like I said, it was not good. I'm not gonna lie and say it was good. But I would much rather watch that again than some of these other ones that we've recently seen.
I definitely knew why I knew Sean Young. She's in the original Blade Runner. She's also in the original Dune.
I was gonna say she was in Dune.
You probably said that, and I just don't remember it.
Oh, she was Chiani.
She was in the first Ace Ventura.
Yep. She was the bad guy.
She was Finkel as Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
She was Helen Hyde in Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
Yep. Tell us how you really feel here.
Okay. Better?
I'm sorry. I'm tired. So that was hilarious.
But
she was Shiani, so she instantly becomes a waifu. I've declared it.
So in this situation, since I think pretty much we've all had to say what we're going to say about the movie, good, fun movie. It's kind of a short one because it was actually enjoyable.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
director was David Green. Apparently, I don't know which one was the original writer and like who like opted the scripts and whatnot, because apparently you had Step Tyner, who is just known for this movie. John K. Swenson, or is it Swenson? Because it's SWENSSON, who's known as a writer and producer for this movie. And then Dale Dye, who is actually an actor as well and is known for quite a few things. So who knows in that one, but fun movie. And the next one it's looking like it's going to be is Sandily.
Oh, God, the name just instantly.
Theories why
it just makes you think of Xanadu. That's why.
It's Theories, Thierry. Thierry. I don't know. Wife, Sandily married the poet he once was. Taking over his dad's company, New Orleans, gives him stress and impotence. Theory meets his high school buddy, Johnny, at a bachelor party. The painter, Johnny, can satisfy Sandily. In this movie, stars Nicolas Cage as Johnny Collins. And the person who Theory is Judge Reinhold. And Erica Anderson is Sandily. But Steve Buscemi's also in it.
Okay. Steve Buscemi.
Is that he looks familiar.
Which one?
The last one, Zachary Gallahan. Because he was in Gremlins. Exactly. And Waxworks. I knew he looked familiar.
Okay, I'm not seeing
Zachary Gallahan. Zach Galligan? He was Billy.
Yeah, I didn't look at all cast and crew. Bye, Billy.
Aww.
Yep.
Aww.
I still love Gremlins, but the Mogwais are, well, cute, not the cutest thing ever.
Mogwais are not cute. They're just weirdly.
They're fucking weird.
They're weirdly adorable in spite of the fact that they are not cute.
And I will still say, if you ever want to
see, it's kind of like Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is not a cute thing.
I'd say a Mogwai is cuter than Baby Yoda, even though whatever the hell his name is, Grogu. You know, because like no one knows what fucking Yoda's race is. They just call him Baby Yoda because that's the only other creature or being they've seen of that.
There was Yaddle.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay.
So his race in Legends has a name, and Yaddle was a female. Was a female version of him, or a female Yoda, whatever they're called, that I believe was on the counts, the High Republic counts.
Interesting.
Yes, I am a Legends nerd.
Groovy.
You do you.
Nerds rule.
We do. But their race had a name.
It most likely
I know they did. I just don't know what it is.
I'd still say if you ever want to watch something pretty funny or pretty good on the Mogwai on that one, look up Roanoke Gaming. Since the dude is actually, I think it's a microbiologist, like he goes through and on some games in some movies he's done to where it's like, is this stuff actually plausible and everything? And the funny thing is, when he goes over the Mogwai, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to theorize how they came to be and everything." And then he's like, "Well, son of a bitch, there's actually lore in their creation, because apparently the whole lore in their creation was they were actually created by a doctor."
Really?
Because their whole purpose is supposed to be like, they're supposed to be kind of like cute and cuddly and whatnot, but like the thing that was kind of put in them, I think it was by accident, was the thing that turns them into gremlins. Because in a way, it's like they could be good, but they could also be pure chaos.
Yeah, I think they were meant as like soothing um soothing things for healing and to like calm you before
Yeah.
surgery and things like that.
So
Which is why they sing.
Yeah, because like when he goes over the whole thing of like, because he goes over 1 and 2, because he usually does the like an overview of the movie, and if it's got multiple movies, he might go over the overview of both movies or whatever, because like he does the entire Starship Troopers series. In that one, if memory serves me correctly, because he goes a lot of the different bugs. But he's just like, well, dang it, because they've got that, well, we're not going to theorize about Mogwai, then we're going to theorize. It's like, go through and figure out possibly what it caused moblins. It's just funny to me. But
I actually oh God.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually sort of watched Starship Troopers finally, except that there was no sound because it was on at the brewery.
That's the best way to watch it.
So now I have to find it and watch it with sound. But it wasn't bad. I expected it to be worse.
No, it's not a terrible movie, and that whole thing. The sequels definitely get to cheese, but the third movie, when they bring like the brain bug gods in a way of what I believe it's like the brain bugs are supposed to turn into. They finally bring in the nuke suits, like the nuclear power.
What?
Because Starship Troopers was originally based on a book, right?
Yeah, by Robert Heinlein.
Yeah, originally they weren't supposed to be in like regular armor that you later on saw in Firefly for the Alliance. They actually were supposed to have like nuclear powered battle suits.
Wow.
Yep. So they finally basically bring those in that one, or it's like, I want to say it's in the third one. Like the second one just has them fighting in an outpost, and then the third one has some other shit that goes into it. So he goes into the whole thing of it, and like the second one has that they have like the bugs that basically like kind of like Slither, where they got into you that way, but they actually like eat into your spinal column to where eventually they take over. And then in the third one, it's more of a psychic connection. Because like you come to find out the reason why eventually the planets become so barren is quite a bit of the planet becomes pretty much another hive mind of the bugs and becomes kind of a bug. Like, it's weird.
So essentially it's a giant fucking bug.
Yeah.
And does it ever explain why they're attacking Earth other than the fact they just want to fucking attack Earth?
Expansion, if memory serves me correctly, because like there's a whole thing of them. Expansion, and they see us as a viable threat. If memory serves me correctly, like I said.
Two birds with one stone. We have land to propagate now, and we wipe out a potential enemy.
Yeah, like I haven't watched the sequels of it, and they are straight fucking cheese in a lot of things. But no, his whole thing of going over that was actually pretty decent. Because that's like, he went also over like Land of the Dead, the fourth George A. Romero zombie film, where they introduce, if memory serves me correctly, the black zombie known as Big Daddy, who can actually think. because they expanded upon Day of the Dead's Bud. Or, yeah, Bud. And how the zombies start to learn and everything.
Huh.
I mean, granted, I still recommend the first 4 George A. Romero zombie movies. That only if you're super into it do I recommend Diary of the Dead and Survival of the Dead.
They just kept getting weird after a while.
Well, from the looks of it, in a lot of cases, like, it almost seems like Survival of the Dead could have been before Land of the Dead, but I don't know exactly.
That's a lot of the dead.
Well, because originally it was supposed to be of the Living Dead, and because of a split between Romero and someone else, they had the Living Dead series, which is something else and completely entirely, which goes down an entirely different route of like the chemicals doing it, and
that was a comedy.
Yeah, but the
get
fact
that dang screwdriver out of my head.
Well, because like it had the whole thing to where it brought creatures that shouldn't be able to revive back from the dead and somehow moving. It's like that's not how it works.
Wow.
Get that.
But yeah, with the Roanoke Gaming thing, like he actually started his whole thing with Dead Space, explaining stuff on that. It's a pretty cool channel. He's one of the few other ones that I I watch and whatnot. And God, I can't remember what it was that I was thinking the other day that I want to make a movie, or not movie, but a video on. And just like I've had some dumb people are being like, man, if you guys really believe the gullibility of that, like, got a YouTuber by the name of Ranting Monkey that has some great bridges he would love to sell you.
Ranting Monkey's gonna sell you some stairs. That's what he's gonna sell.
Hey man, I'm also been told Jack Cochran has some really nice Oklahoma oceanfront property for sale, and he also has some in Ohio as well.
He also has a great set of subterranean love dungeons.
No, no, that's irrelevant. That's his personal thing. We're talking about the business aspect. We're talking about what he has for sale, which is property, oceanfront property in Ohio, not lakefront, oceanfront.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think here, darling, you missed.
What'd you say?
I think the first time around, you missed the point on that one.
Get it? We're trying to sell idiots dumb shit. Like, I'm going to sell somebody volcano insurance.
Well, depending on where you actually
live. Is their volcano going to fall off the cliff?
Depending on where you live in the United States, that's technically what Yellowstone is.
It's technically an inactive. It's not. It's an inactive volcano.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm going to sell insurance in Maryland.
But you should sell tsunami insurance to someone in like North Dakota.
Yes. No, I'm gonna sell Canadian insurance. They're coming.
No, Canadian health or it's like insurance is just going to be. Have you contemplated suicide recently? Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's Canadian healthcare insurance. Healthcare.
Like, doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, have you contemplated death? Hey, here's a brochure on maids.
Assisted suicide.
Here. This is
Doctor,
the brochure about maids.
Doctor, I think I broke my finger. Have you considered dying? What?
No.
Really?
No, I did not consider dying. Well,
So
you should.
that's why I always love it when people are like, it's like, especially hear some Canadians, they're like, well, at least we have free healthcare. And it's like, yeah, and your Canadians that are, it's like near the border of the U.S., what do? They take that free Canadian healthcare and use it in the U.S. But that's for a completely different show.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in my show.
This is supposed to be for movie reviews, and
I was gonna
we've
say, I
definitely
think we got a little lost there.
squirrel. But we'll call it here. It's been just shy of an hour, and yeah, fun movie. Definitely would recommend. We're gonna do the next week and then see if we need a palate cleanser after that, because this was actually a pretty decent palate cleanser. But let's see, after Zandali, okay, is he the main character in that one? After that is Honeymoon in Vegas.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, so after Zandali, we get fucking Pat Moriarty. Pat Morita.
Pat
Morita.
We do?
Yeah. Get James Caan, Nicolas Cage, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Horseface! What?
Because that one is, Jack loses $65,000 in poker in Las Vegas, where he's marrying Betsy. The wedding will have to wait as the poker winner wants the weekend with Betsy to cancel the debt. C accepts. Whom will she marry?
What was I? She did not start looking quite so horse-faced until she lost way too much weight. If you watch her in Footloose and Square Pegs, she did not. Her face was not that long. And
Pretty sure she also did a lot of drugs. I would not be surprised if she did a lot of drugs.
Wow, she's married to Matthew Broderick. I didn't know that.
I did know that.
I still can't believe they're making a Hocus Pocus 2. Or they made a Hocus Pocus 2.
And they're making a Hocus Pocus fucking 3. The Heresy.
I did not know they were making a Hocus Pocus 3, but Hocus Pocus 2. Ignore everything but the last 20 minutes of it.
So ignore it entirely.
I did. The last 20 minutes was not bad.
The Heresy.
But you have to get through the beginning of it to get to that last 20 minutes.
God, Bette Midler is fucking 77 and she's still alive.
I forgot Sarah Jessica Parker was in Mars Attacks.
You took Betty White, but you left Bette Midler. God, you are a fucking monster.
But we're going to call it here. Obviously, we have Tier's show on Saturday. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do. I brought up some people that have way more subscribers than me. Because they're just people I like. I mean, I think Tier has like 4 more, so he's not way more, but he still has a few more. But like, Monkey's got me by like
a trillion,
24K. I think Roanoke's got me by like a mil. I can't remember how many he has. But, okay, let me grab my phone real quick because I want to make sure I'm not missing a holiday coming up. I think we passed all the holidays for Jurassic June.
Jurassic June?
I know they want to say that June is Pride Month. P-Dog wants to go with Strong Dad June, which just doesn't make sense. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So instead, we should just make June about dinosaurs. So Jurassic June.
Yay, I'll take it.
I agree. June is now Jurassic June, and we're doing dinosaurs.
Oh,
I don't know
and
about
remember,
that. I don't
okay, because
think
yeah, it's
that
like
I would
apparently
feel.
Flag Day is Wednesday. Obviously, Juneteenth is this month, but don't forget this Sunday is Father's Day. So if you have a father that's not a complete piece of shit that you like, because I know some dads can be pieces of shit, wish him a happy Father's Day. You don't got to get him flowers. You can if you want.
Do I even know who? Oh, yeah, I know who my father is. Sorry, I just hit the chat.
That was, oh my god, dear.
Way to embrace the stereotype of current stereotype, but
Oh wow.
well, I mean, honestly, the difference would be when it's like since Tier and I are the same age, that whole thing, he should know who his dad was because wasn't the that was near the beginning of pushing towards fatherlessness in the black community.
I know my father. I know he's buried in. I believe he's buried in a Maryland military cemetery.
Nice.
Yes, he was a Tuskegee Airman.
Oh, neat.
Wow.
He is that fucking old.
Wow.
That's how it
Was
goes.
that? Yes.
But yeah, because of all that, I saw the whole thing for Jurassic June. I was like, I like that. That's what, like I said, I know P-Dog wants to go with Strong Dad June because I think of one of the Hoteps. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand, not every dad is, it's like not everybody's a dad, so we don't.
But everybody likes dinosaurs.
But we don't, and it's like, and we don't have a whole month for mothers. So, and if they tried to push it, I would actually fight that because no, too many mothers try to take fucking Father's Day on top of that. So, piss off.
I give single moms Father's Day the same way I give single dads Mother's Day.
And I can have respect for that. But my whole thing on that is like you already have Mother's Day. Just look at Father's Day as a day that's a day. Don't acknowledge it. Unless like you and the husband or you and the father separated because it was like, if you separated on good terms and they're still a part of the child's life, then let him have Father's Day, even though you're technically a single mother. And the same goes for Mother's Day. But if, again, we're going into territory that's more Tears show or a Talking in the Void, if you kind of picked a shitty dude because you had bad judgment or just bad taste in men, which, let's be honest, both men and women have had bad taste in the opposite sex and the same sex for some.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to say Father's Day should be about you because, well, you got knocked up by a piece of shit. Or you knocked up a piece of shit. I always try to make sure I hit both sexes because we're all shitty in the end. Well, like I said, I claim to be at least a somewhat decent person, but whenever it comes to shit like this, I've seen shitty men and I've seen shitty women, but I tend to see more women try to call out men for being shitty and then don't want to call out women for being shitty. And I agree with my mother in the whole situation of, you call either out for being shitty. I can't say I agree with both my parents in that because they both say that basically.
Cool.
That's, well, like I said, there are dumb men and smart men that are attracted to dumb, shitty. It's like dumb, smart, and shitty women, or dumb and or dumb or smart, shitty women. And there are women who are smart and or it's like or dumb, who can be attracted to smart or dumb, shitty men.
Yes.
Yep.
And 'tis just be the way she goes. And I'm kind of pandering because I got about 15 seconds until we hit an hour, so I'm just slightly rambling in the situation.
You're trying to ban for time.
Oh, if I wanted to just ban for time, I can easily find something to go into. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could bring up a Smogon article.
God
damn it!
Oh, wow. Monsters. All of you. Monsters.
Hey, I didn't do it.
I know. I'm just gonna
I
blame
said
you.
could bring up a Smogon article. I'm not gonna do that. If I were gonna do something like that, I'd bring up just some like random thing about a gun. And hell, I still need to make that second dramatic Twitter read. I just haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna do it. But we've gone over an hour now because we've just been
Bullshit.
descended into chaos for the last probably 30 minutes ish.
Probably.
James, you still with us? You got any final words?
Oh,
I can't believe I got to use that before he even answered. I think James might have passed or might have fell asleep on us or something, which happens.
Yes.
That or not the freaking or not OBS. Discord doesn't want to let him unmute.
No.
Discord's been acting kind of funky this for a while.
Yeah, they had some recent updates in that whole thing. But Angela, you got any parting words?
Just go to the theater. Watch a good movie. Have some snow caps and a hot dog.
I heard the new Dracula movie where Cage's Dracula is actually pretty good. Yeah, Renfield.
I heard it was decent too.
Cool.
Tyr, you got any parting words?
Nope. I'm still emotionally damaged by the threatened to read a Smogon article.
It's just the way it goes sometimes.
I'm gonna go see if I can find my father. Go out for smokes.
You're gonna go out for smokes. Okay.
God, that's all I can think of is on Friday for the Minions thing. Because of a misthing of how Kefki put in my name in chat, they went into a whole thing of, apparently Corpse is a surname, and it's just been like, my father is Ron C, so Ron Corpse, and they just added a letter for me, so I am Rotn Corpse. So
shit,
my son
Lich.
So I would have to then go through. Well, it went through a whole thing, and then like Kefki be like, "That's like," I was like, something about stealing my dad or whatnot, and they brought up the whole thing of saying daddy, and I was just like, my only response to him when trying to call me daddy is to call him like sport or champ. And like that's why I told you guys last night, like the video I eventually want to make. So you're gonna get to hear me do terrible voice acting of men and women eventually. Because this dumb shit I'm just gonna strictly impose on myself probably.
Don't forget I need the voice clips of from you guys.
Yeah, just send me what you need me to say, and I eventually still have to make one that's everyone in to do your opening entirely of it.
Alright.
Because I'm gonna do that one for fun, and I'm gonna make up something for all of us.
Oh Lord.
Oh, it won't be so bad. But we are going to call it here. Luckily, my internet held out. Didn't want to be an asshole, even though I have good internet. And just wanted to be a dick last week and yesterday. But, I mean, it was like freaking 1 in the morning, so obviously no one else is on the internet.
Okay.
Again, the Soviets trying to take down the screen.
I doubt it. But hopefully, since it's basically just been us and no one else, I'm pretty sure it's like me and something like one other person had the actual stream up that was muted. It's the way it goes sometimes. Anyone who watches in the future, thank you for listening to us ramble like a bunch of idiots. Definitely enjoyed.
We're the best idiots.
But have a good one. Like I said, Sunday this week. Yeah, since it's Monday now, Sunday is Father's Day. If you got at least decent dad, give him a call. Say thanks. Say a prayer or something. I don't know. Have a good week. And try not to let shit just get bad. Hopefully the weather's nice for y'all. Bye.